I have my space heater blaring in the background. So if you hear some sort of humming or weird background noise, it's that. Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. It's not done. It's not a finished product. And it sucks that people paid $60. In my case, I paid full price for it. After taxes, it probably came up to somewhere around like $65. And we got this. It's I won't call it an unfinished mess because it's I wouldn't it messy? Yes. Is it unfinished? Not game wise. Like there is a beginning and an end, right? So it is finished, but messy? Yes. It's all over the place. And speaking of that, right? I came up with this little interesting metaphor that I practiced yesterday just to say it now. But I feel like saying that Stalker is playable from beginning to the end is like saying a donut is healthy because technically there's nutrients in there somewhere. That's the best way I can describe Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. It's like, yeah, you can finish it. There is a start and to end and end, and the game is playable, not perfectly playable, but it is playable in a very technical sense, right? Like, yeah, you can finish it, but do you want to with the constant crashes? In my gameplay, I've played for oh, I got recorded 30 hours, but I don't have literal 30 hours. I probably got somewhere between 27 hours, I would say, not counting the times I left the game on like idle while I went to go shower or eat or whatever. So, yeah, you can finish the game, but it's like it's so glitchy and laggy and the optimization is horrible that it's like, do you want to even? Do you even want to continue? And let me explain something to you. I'm not someone who gives a shit about details. I'm not a stickler about PC rigs. I told you my PC rig. It's a modest little thing. Right, excuse me. It's a modest little thing. My PC, I mean, it's got a bunch of things in it, but I would let's say it's got 32 gigs of RAM. Let's start with that. Uh, my GPU is a Ryzen 6650 XT, and my CPU, I want to say, is a 5600 X3D. I don't even remember. Let me open up what is the CPU Z. I'll tell you right now exactly. Because, this is not stuff that like I should have prepared for before I started recording. All right, what do I got here? I have yep, AMD Ryzen 5 5600 X3D. Yeah, that's my CPU. And once again, my graphics card is a I don't know why I said Ryzen. I think it's AMD Radeon RX 6650 XT. All right, there you go. I'm not I'm not super tech savvy here, so anyways, point is mid-range at best. Some would even say low, right? That's what my PC is. But my PC is more than capable of running Stalker 2. As a matter of fact, like on low settings, I think it was like a 1060, like an NVIDIA 1060 that you needed to at least play on low settings. Obviously, a 6650 XT is much more better than 1060, I guess, depending on who you ask. Although I heard the NVIDIA 1060, is it RTX? Maybe not RTX, GT. I don't know, GTX, whatever. A 1060 from NVIDIA. I heard that's like the most average gaming card, like the average gamer on Steam at least. That's the number one card that they all seem to own. So that's a testament to how great that card is. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that my card is better than that. What does all this have to do with Stalker 2? I have the hardware to run it. Not on Epic or maybe not on high is debatable. I would say I have the hardware to run Stalker 2 on a mixture of medium and high. For sure. Even when I slap it on high with like, an upscaler because the game looks like dog shit without an upscaler. It's like shimmery and there's artifacts, and I don't mean that in a snarky pun type of way. I mean like there's glitch like visual glitches and issues. And it I see a lot of people complain about how the game is not optimized well, and they're trying to run that shit on a potato, right? And I understand some people don't know. Some people aren't tech savvy like me. I would say I wouldn't say I'm a complete beginner. I would say, but I'm in the rookie stage, right? Because I've said this a million times before. The first gaming PC that I bought was from my brother in 2016, but I didn't. It just sat around the house. I played it every now and then, got high and played Skyrim. I don't remember that. Uh, but I really started getting into PC. I'm talking about like fully committing myself, completely stopping playing my PlayStation or whatever console I had, my Switch. I sold everything. The only thing I have now is just my PC because I'm all in. I'm all in. But point is, um, I really started playing PC or became a hardcore PC guy. I would say like 2022, something like that. So I've only been PC gaming hardcore for about 3 4 years, which ain't shit. I still have a lot to learn. I can't even remember the specs of my PC. I had to fucking open up a program to tell you guys. But yeah, um, I know it's not me, and a lot of people they tend to complain about how games aren't optimized well, but they're trying to run that shit on a terrible PC or on a rig that's not capable of running it well. So that's not the case for me. This game, I'm not someone, like I said before, I'm not a stickler for details. I don't care about high end rigs or anything like that. So, not saying that they aren't cool. It's cool to see, the top range shit that I'll never buy. And it's not even an affordability issue, right? I can totally afford a card that could run this game on 2K/4K. It's a lot of fucking money I'm gonna have to drop, but I can afford it. I mean, would it hurt? Yeah, it'll hurt, but it won't stop me from living. I'll still be able to pay my bills. I'll still be able to continue with life and a brand new computer card or PC in general that can run a game in 4K. But no, I'm a very typical average gamer. As long as I can get that game on high or any game, these are my general expectations for video games on PC. 1080p, 60 frames per second, high settings. That's it. You give me those three things, I'm the happiest motherfucker alive. On older games, I'll drop, I'll pull it up to like ultra. Like right now, for example, I'm playing Far Cry Primal, right? Which maybe I'll make a little video about video. I'll make some audio about uh, that game, but it's 9 years old. I couldn't believe it. Like it came out in 2016, and I remember thinking like, God damn, that was really 9 years ago. 2016 feels so recent in my head. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Jesus, I did the math right now, like as I'm talking to you, because I'm still in shock. I was like, right before I recorded this, I was like, when did Far Cry Primal come out? Then it said 2016. I started doing the math and I was like, no fucking way, dude. Like, yes, I know logically it's nine. That's it. I should just be like, that was 9 years ago and move on. But god damn, my brain. Also, I was getting incredibly high a lot. I was spending way too much money on weed in 2016. So maybe that's why time flew, or maybe why that year was so. That was one of the best years of my life. Not only because I was high all the time, but also was like, I was more outgoing. Lately, I've been just a fucking hermit, man. I've been stuck in this apartment. Just, I'm currently searching for a new job, and that's going kind of slow. I did get a hit today, but the place that called me or contacted me through email, they're far as fuck. So, Stalker 2. I am not the type of guy to pay attention to details of hardcore rigs and stuff like that. So I am very I am very forgiving when it comes to some glitches, some crashes, some occasional dips in FPSs, overall optimization issues. I have forgiven many games. I am a longtime Bethesda player. Need I say more? I have forgiven many glitches or features or anomalies. But this one, it's unforgivable. Like this one is definitely not, and by this one I mean Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. This game particularly, it runs way too shitty to ignore. Because the dips in FPS, not only are they annoying because good luck trying to get a stable frame rate, right? And that's even I hear that's a problem even with the beefier cards, right? So imagine my middling card, right? So I can on average on slap everything on high, put the upscaler all the way up high, and get 47, borderline 50, but mostly like 47, 48 frames per second, which is more than playable. Totally. And you know what? And I accepted that, right? At one point, I said, there's no way I'm going to get 60 unless I'm sacrificing a lot of the quality. And I came out with this little trick where it's like, when I didn't come out with it, but like I was fiddling with the settings so much. Mind you, a good portion of my time in this game was spent fiddling with the fucking settings, just trying to get it to run regularly, and that was difficult in its own right. So I found out that if you play this game on medium settings, at least with a card that's like mine or comparable to mine, like a mid-range card, medium to high settings, and then you take FSR, because to me that's the, sorry, not FSR, is it TSR? Not the one, yeah, I think it's TSR, and then you slap it to like 80, the upscaling meter or whatever, and you get 60. You can get 60, but things are going to look kind of blurry, kind of washed out, and that takes me out, right? Because it's like I'm not, once again, I'm not someone who really gives a shit about visuals. I'm still playing on a 23-inch 1080p monitor, like it's fucking 2011. So it's I'm not a stickler for details, but like goddamn, this game is hard to play, and I uninstalled it twice out of just like I gave up. The first day I uninstalled it, I was just like, I don't know if I'm even having fun right now because I'm so worried that this game's gonna crap out on me. It's like just chugging it along. It's like your hoopty or your jalopy or your lemon. You pick your slang there. It's like it's just chugging along, and you're praying to God it gets you to work because you've been late already 4 times this week. It's like I got this little motherfucker better go, or I'm gonna lose my job. Yeah, that's what this game is. It's just chugging along. And it does upset me when I go online and I see people in the reviews and the Steam comment review section, and when I go to Reddit, oh, give it more time, give it a year. Somebody said that. Give it a year. I'm like, Jesus Christ, who buys the game for full price, right? And then goes, I'm gonna wait a year till it's done. Unless it's early access, right? But in early access, you know what you're getting yourself into. There's a giant warning there that's saying like, hey, this game may, you may run into some glitches and may not run properly because it's still in active development. That's not the case with Stalker 2. This game is fully released. It's a finished product in the sense of like, you know, it went to like, what is it, gold status? I don't know video game industry terms, but long story short, it's a completed game in the sense that, it's not in early access or whatever. So I've seen the roadmap, and the roadmap seems pretty good. I'm glad that they're gonna add alien. They're gonna add mutant parts that you can rip out of the mutants and sell it for currency, which I feel like that is missing. Like I feel like you should be able to sell like pieces of a boar like it's meat or something like that to stalkers and stuff. And also one of the uh things I've seen on the roadmap. A lot of them seem like quality of life upgrades. One of them is like mutants can finally eat stalkers and stuff like that. And I'm just like, it all seems like small fry shit, but I love quality of life. Those are my favorite type of mods. Like when I do decide to mod a game, there's always quality of life shit. It's my favorite stuff. Some people just got great ideas, and you can tell also with this game with Stalker too that there was, it seems like there were a lot of inspiration from mods, popular mods over the years, like Anomaly and all that, and Gamma. It seems like they took some stuff from that and added it to this official Stalker 2 universe or whatever. One of them being like the backpack. Whenever you open up the inventory, your character physically pulls out his backpack, and I love that. I love stuff like that. Just it's very immersive. It's a shame, man, because like it's not a bad game. I hate to quote PC Gamer because I feel like, and it's not personal with PC Gamer. I feel like it's just video game reviewers in general. A lot of them are very biased, unfortunately. And I understand you got to keep the lights on. Sometimes someone pays you, whether that's a developer or some sort of a company to sponsor their product, and you're going to give them a glowing review, and then you're going to try to make it look like it's not a glowing review by, you know, giving them a compliment and then taking it back. Like I feel like that's an old tired trick that a lot of these publications do, and I see it a lot with PC Gamer. A lot of their reviews seem to be like, this game is amazing and gorgeous, but it does have like a dull character. It's like, it's like, hey guys, just letting you know they paid me, but I still have my own mind. I have my own opinions. It's like, I get that vibe from PC Gamer and other publications. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm fucking completely reading the room wrong. I can't say it has not happened before, but that's what I get. So, but they did say something about Stalker 2, which I really like, and I saw it on the Stalker store page in Steam, and it was like, I'm paraphrasing. I don't know exactly what they said, but something along the lines like, even with all the glitches and imperfections that Stalker 2 has, like it doesn't stop its mad shining heart, or its mad heart from shining through. Mad wonderful heart from shining through. I think those were the words. And I was like reading that and I was like, yeah, that's exactly how I feel too. I'd be like, even though this game is glitched out to the point where I actually uninstalled it twice, I'll get into that in a sec. Um, and eventually I just gave up last night. Even with the not the, even with the bad experience that I've had with it, because it was more bad than good. I still believe in it. I still believe in Stalker 2. It just sucks that I have to wait, right? Because especially when I paid full price for it, right? I should be upset. And if someone is upset because they paid full price and they got this unfinished half-baked product, I can't blame them. They have every right to be fucking pissed. They do. And okay, there was a war going on in Ukraine, and the developers of Stalker 2 are a Ukrainian studio based in Ukraine. And the fact that we even got a Stalker, and regardless of where it was developed, is a fucking brand new Stalker installment, regardless of where it was developed. That's a fucking feat on its own. But to develop a game in the middle of a war, I gotta say, that's insane. That's a fucking crazy thing to do. And yes, it's gonna come out a little half baked. And I feel that's a big reason why a lot of its fans, or a lot of its consumers, like me, are pretty forgiving. They're just like, we get it, man. At least we got something. It's a shame that we have to wait, for quite a long time before we get to play the fully realized version of Stalker 2, but at least we got something. So I'm all right with that, personally. But once again, if someone were to be pissed off about it, they have every right to, man. That's $65, bro. And in 2025, $65 here in America, you get like two candy bars and a juice. Like the economy is fucked. Everything's expensive. What I'm trying to say is that for $65, it's expensive, and it's even more expensive in 2025 in this crazy American economy. There were times where I'm playing this game and I would get into a gunfight with some bandits, and it would I would go, "Oh my god, I love that." Right? It was visceral. It was like I was getting hit. I could have died, but I didn't, and I flanked, and I did all this military tactic shit. I was leaning out the corner, shot some in the head, and then the battle music kind of wanes, kind of dies down, and then it's like, that was awesome. That's what made me like Stalker in the first place. The gunplay, just it feels so realistic in the sense of like, compared to other arcadey modern games. It feels great, and that's what kept me going. I kept going for that hit, and the further I played it, the more graphical problems it had. The first time I uninstalled it, I don't remember the exact reason. I do remember the exact reason for the second time I installed it, but for the first, I think it was just accumulation of everything that was going on. Like I was just, my main problems was the dips. Like I would get these FPS dips all the way down to like the 12s. Like it'll be like 12 FPS, and it'll stay that way, and it'll happen a lot in the town, right? But as soon as I leave the town, it could shoot up to 60 depending on my settings. It could shoot up to 47, and it'll be stable, right? And then even when I first come into town, it's like 45, and I'm like, that's playable. I can do that. But then I'll walk inside of a trader, like a trader's shop, or whatever, and that's when shit hits the fan. It'll drop down to 12, and then it'll just stay that way, regardless if you go outside, regardless if you leave the village in general and venture far, it's still 12, and you would have to restart the game. And some people say that's like memory leaks. I believe that's the memory leak problem. And I was like, that happened so much. And mind you, it's hard to avoid because you need to go to the trader to get money to trade shit. So it's like I can't avoid that. And that was my main issue. Optimization wise, it was bad, and also graphically, right? If you can uh, if you don't fiddle with the settings and you just slap it on high, no upscaler, it looks like dog shit. Dog shit, right? But you have to fiddle with the settings. And if you get the right settings, the game looks good. It looks good. I can only imagine someone who has a fucking crazy beefy card, like a 4090 or something, right? Is that even a card? A 4090? It probably is a card, man. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. 4090. Let's look it up. It is a card. Is that one of the latest cards? Oh shit, definitely is one of the latest cards. That's $1,600. So yeah, like if you had like a 4090 and like a beefy CPU and fucking 32 gigs of RAM, dual channel or whatever the hell they recommend it. I can see this game would probably look amazing in 2K, 4K, 60 frames. I don't think it'll run that well either, regardless of what card you got. But it'll probably look breathtaking, right? But you can say that about any modern game, right? If you played it with those conditions or under those conditions. Let me go back. Where am I? All right. So yeah, that was my biggest issue. My biggest issues was that it was just the unstable frame rate. It would go from high, low, high, low, high, low, and it was just it killed me because it made the game. It's like pick one. Fuck. Like I even slapped it to 30, right? Just because I got fed up. I went on, put all my settings on high, and then limited to 30, right? And I was like, yes, now when I go into towns, it's 30. When I leave the towns, it's 30. I thought I solved it. I was like, I guess this game you just have to play it at 30 frames per second. It wasn't really that much enjoyable, but I played consoles my entire life. I could get used to it. I didn't like it. I would much prefer 60 frames per second, but I'm willing to make the sacrifice. The game looks good. I fucked around with the upscaler, got everything running great, right? That's it. I got it. No more graphical issues. Now I can play this game. I go into a town, go into a trader, drops to 12 FPS. Even locked at 30, it still managed to break it and go under 12, 11, 10. And I was like, all right, that's it. Oh, that was probably the reason why I first uninstalled it, now that I think about it. Now, the second reason was yesterday. I was doing this quest where I had to meet up with the general or the commander of what's that group called? It's not Freedom. It's the ward. So he was the commander of the ward, and me and him and the ward were supposed to assault this bandit camp. So we get there, I meet up with the rendezvous with the soldiers. And as soon as the battle starts, bang, drop to like 10 FPS. I'm getting shot up. Don't know who's shooting me because everything's a slideshow, right? I'm trying my best to fight with 10 FPS, right? So I'm zooming with the scope of my assault rifle, and I swear, dude, on the like what I see through my scope is a guy that's T posing and sliding simultaneously at the same time across the screen while I'm shooting at him. I pressed escape on my keyboard. I exited the main menu, exited the game, and uninstalled it all in one fell swoop. Foul swoop, fell swoop. That's enough. That's when I was like, I gave you too many fucking chances, Stalker. Too many, like way more. And I'm a reasonable guy that does unreasonable things. What I mean by that is that like I'm a pretty reasonable guy. I'm very logic bound, right? I do unreasonable shit in the sense that like I give people and things chances, way more chances than the average person does. Like not by one or two or three, by like 10. Like if the average person gave Stalker 3 chances, I gave it 10. I'm not joking. And that's the way I am in general with people, with things. Like I have to really, really, really know it sucks. Not really know it sucks. Really, really, really know it sucks. And it's not good. It's something I'm trying to work on, but it's not good. I really shouldn't have gave it that many chances, to be honest with you. But I'm kind of glad I did because even though I only played this game for roughly 30 hours, I don't feel like that's enough. As a matter of fact, I know it's not enough for an open world game, but it is enough to make a light review. Like I can tell you, hey, I played this game for about 30 hours. I think I know what I'm talking about. And anyone who's played any game for 30 hours, I'll go like, yeah, I mean, you're not a fucking pro or anything like that, but I will say that like, yeah, you are allowed to talk at the table about this game because you have experience with it and a nice amount of experience. And it's crazy because like I said earlier, even with my I'm not going to say horrible experience with Stalker 2, but I will say bad. It wasn't a good one. I guess that's what bad means, right? Even though I had a bad experience with Stalker 2, I still am looking forward to the future of Stalker 2. I want to see what they have cooking up. I want to see this game get better optimized. I want to see it grow from what it is now because it is playable, at least in the sense of like you can finish it, but why would you want to? I can't recommend this. That's the one thing. At the end of the day, it's like I hate to really parrot the general consensus of this game, which is wait for a while until they figure everything out, then jump in. But that is exactly what you should do. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to pick this game back up maybe December, January. You know, what are we in? April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Yeah. So, like, I'm going to give it the rest of this year and maybe even start it at the beginning of next year, considering I'm still alive. But it is exciting. It does a lot of things right. The atmosphere is beautiful. The music is beautiful. The gunplay is satisfying. The jingling and the jangling of when you're cocking your gun or you're running with full equipment, your boots hitting the ground. I fucking love stuff like that. It's like ASMR to me. I believe I spelled that correctly. And yeah, it really is one of those games where it's not hard to see the potential and it's not hard to see that this is going to be a fucking awesome game, but it's just not right now. And it's in a tricky spot, right? Because it's like kind of politically protected because everyone seems to be so pro Ukraine nowadays, right? They weren't in 2017, especially the same people who are so pro Ukraine now. They weren't pro Ukraine in 2017, including like major left wing publications, right? They were slamming Ukraine a couple years ago. So there's a lot of confusing stuff to it. I'm not going to get super political, but I will say that I believe that it is kind of politically protected. Stalker 2. I wouldn't say I can't prove it, and I can't come up with a chart to say this is how many people like Stalker because they like Ukraine. I don't know, man. I'm pulling all of this out of my ass. But I will say that it feels like that. It feels like because this game's kind of politically protected, also a lot of people give it leniency. Like they cut it a lot of slack. because they're just like, we get it, we know what's going on. And they should, because it is an amazing thing, like I said earlier, that, you know, a, 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 a that a studio in a country that is currently at war, that's seeing active war, is creating anything is amazing. And also the fact, like I said, that we got a new entry into the Stalker series. That's something to behold. But it is hard because it's one of those games, or at least probably the only game that I can think of right now that's kind of looked at politically, kind of politically protected, but at the same time, it's also not good. It's not optimized. I mean, it is good, but I'm saying it's not optimized. It's janky. It's undercooked. So it's like, it's like I can't help but to feel that there are a lot of people out there in the Stalker 2 fan base that kind of go like, I want to make fun of it or I want to criticize it, but I kind of feel like I can't because then people will think I'm criticizing Ukraine. You tell me if I'm overthinking this shit. I don't know, but it kind of feels that way sometimes. Either way, Ukraine or not, Stalker 2, hell of a lot of potential. And I can't wait to see the future for this game. I am disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. I am a little upset that I dropped full price on this game because if I was gonna wait, if I knew that I was gonna wait, you know, 6, 8, 9 months to play this game, I would have just waited and got it on sale, right? But then, there's the flip side to that argument, which is like, well, it's better, even if you know it's undercooked, it's better to pay full price for this game in order for you to support it. Sure. Sure. But at the same time, it's kind of hard to justify full price for something that's just not ready, something that's half quality, mid quality. And that's what Stalker is. It's mid quality right now. Will it be high quality in the future? I think so. I think there will always be a level of jank, some degree of glitchiness and oddness to these uh, type of open world games. I'm once again, I'm willing to accept that, but this is just it's borderline unplayable, and I mean that. Like it's teetering on between playable and unplayable, and I can't imagine what this game or how this game ran when it first got introduced. When it first, I didn't play it. I played it a few months later because I heard about the optimization issue. So mind you, I already gave it a good few months before I tried it. So I thought that this game came out in November. I'm playing it now in April. I gave it about 5 months, and that still wasn't enough. So I guess another five, right? That's if we're going by the formula. Whatever. Long story short, it's a good game riddled with bugs and optimization issues. If you are someone who's brave enough and you are patient enough, you're going to find an awesome game here. But if you're an average person and you are not one that has a lot of time on their hands or someone who's just like wants a quality product, this isn't it. You got to wait, just like the rest of us. Get in line, buddy. I don't remember if I did a Stalker 2 video already. I probably did because I remember I tried it once of somewhere around the time it came out, probably maybe like 2 months after it came out, and I played it for an hour, and that was nowhere near enough for me to judge anything. But I probably still did because that's what I do. But I don't count that time. I count now that I actually dropped about 30 hours on it, at least 30 recorded hours. We'll see, man. Right now, I'm playing Far Cry Primal. I'm liking it, even though the game's 9 years old. 9 years old. Can't fucking believe that. Whatever. Game's 9 years old. Don't know if I'm gonna finish it. I just started playing it today. I kind of like it. I'm playing it on survivor mode, I think. Yeah, I am. And expert difficulty, I turned off 90% of the HUD. I'm just looking for a more like someone online said it best. They said a caveman simulator, and I'm like, that's what I want. Maybe I'll talk about that next time. Thanks for listening.